In April 2024, the Auto Care Association released the results of a nationwide survey of 407 independent repair shops across the United States. The findings should have made every truck owner in America stop and read them. 84% of independent repair shops reported that vehicle repair and maintenance data access was the top issue facing their business in 2024. Not technician shortage, not inflation, not rising parts costs, data access. 63% of those shops reported experiencing difficulties making routine repairs on a daily or weekly basis because of software and data access restrictions. Half of all independent repair shops surveyed reported sending up to 5 vehicles per month directly to the dealership because their own diagnostic tools could not access what the manufacturer's system required to complete the repair. The average amount of labor time an independent shop spent trying to resolve a software-restricted repair before being forced to send it to the dealer was 2 to 4 hours. 2 to 4 hours of work the shop could not bill for. 2 to 4 hours of your time sitting in a waiting room because the truck you own required dealer software access to complete a repair any mechanic should be able to do. That survey was published in April 2024. The situation has not improved since. By 2026, the trend that survey documented has only accelerated with each new model year. The question this video answers is what 3 pickup trucks you can still buy today that have not yet been swallowed by that system. 3 trucks where the hood opens to reveal an engine you can actually work on. Where a diagnostic trouble code reads on a standard OBD2 scanner. Where you can buy a replacement part from any supplier and install it without a dealer laptop to authorize it. Where you will never be one software update away from losing access to your own powertrain. Before the list, you need to understand the 3 specific walls that modern manufacturers have built between you and your own truck. Wall number 1. Proprietary software locks on diagnostic access. A 2019 GAO report reviewed the data access dispute between independent repair shops and automakers. The report found that all 8 automakers interviewed claimed to provide equal access through the OBD2 port, but the same report found that 8 of 14 independent repair shops and associations interviewed expressed serious concerns about the voluntary and unenforceable nature of the automaker commitments. The word they used repeatedly was voluntary. The 2014 Memorandum of Understanding between automakers and independent repairers and the 2023 Automotive Repair Data Sharing Commitment are all voluntary. None are codified in federal law. A commitment that is voluntary can be withdrawn. Access that depends on manufacturer goodwill can be restricted at any model year. And the Auto Care Association survey from 2024 documents that restriction happening at scale right now. Wall number 2, component serialization and VIN pairing. On modern trucks built after approximately 2018, an increasing number of components carry individual digital serial numbers assigned at the factory. The body control module reads those numbers at startup. If a replacement part's serial number is not registered to the vehicle VIN in the manufacturer's server database, the module rejects the component. A physically functioning part, correct application, correct installation, rejected by software. The repair that used to take 30 minutes and cost $40 at AutoZone now requires a dealer visit, a laptop, and a $180 authorization fee. This is the documented mechanism behind the daily experience reported by 63% of independent shops in the Auto Care Association's 2024 survey. Wall number 3, over-the-air update architecture. Every truck built with an embedded cellular modem and a connected services architecture can receive software updates pushed by the manufacturer without the owner's active participation. Those updates can change feature availability, alter calibration parameters, and in some documented cases disable capabilities the owner used routinely before the update was applied. You do not control the software in your truck. The manufacturer does. The truck on this list is specifically a model where that statement is not true. Here is the qualification standard for this list. Every truck on it must meet 4 criteria without exception. Standard OBD2 access that any scanner can read without a manufacturer subscription. No component serialization requiring dealer software to authorize a replacement part. No always-on cellular modem pushing manufacturer updates without owner consent. Full engine bay access to all major service components with standard hand tools and a floor jack. Run every truck currently sold in America through those 4 filters. Here is what is left. Truck number 1. The 2005 through 2015 Toyota Tacoma with the 4-liter 1 GRFE V6. The DAX Street Analysis of the 12 Most DIY Repairable Vehicles, published April 2025, specifically identifies the Tacoma of this era as a top-tier DIY platform based on 3 documented characteristics. Spacious engine bay with clearly arranged components and working room. Simple, logical electrical architecture with conventional wiring harnesses and accessible connection points. A community of parts suppliers and service documentation that has been building for 20 years. The 1 GRFE V6 under the hood of a 2005 through 2015 Tacoma is a naturally aspirated engine with a timing chain, conventional multi-point fuel injection, and a PCM that communicates on standard OBD2 protocol. Every trouble code it generates can be read by any $150 scanner from any parts store. No subscription required, no manufacturer authorization required. You plug in, you read the code, you address the repair. An oxygen sensor replacement on this truck takes a wrench and 20 minutes. A water pump on this engine takes a standard socket set and an afternoon. A timing chain service requires patience but no proprietary tools. The component access in this engine bay reflects a deliberate engineering choice that was made before packaging efficiency became code for deliberate inaccessibility. The electrical system on a 2005 through 2015 Tacoma uses straightforward relay-based architecture. When an electrical fault develops, you trace it with a multimeter. You do not need a Consult 3+ diagnostic interface or a TIS TechStream software license. You need a $12 test light and a wiring diagram from a factory service manual that is publicly available and has been for 2 decades. The frame rust concern on Tacomas built before 2016 is real, and it deserves the emphasis it receives in every serious discussion of this truck. Toyota issued a frame replacement program for certain Tacomas from 1995 to 2000 after documenting severe frame corrosion in rust-prone states. Later Tacomas through 2015 have their own corrosion vulnerability in specific states and climates. A pre-purchase inspection by a qualified independent mechanic with a full frame inspection is not optional. It is the cost of entry. A rust-free example from the South or the Southwest is categorically a different truck than a comparable mileage example from New England or the Upper Midwest. Know the history before you buy. But a rust-free example of this platform represents 20 years of proven repairability and an aftermarket parts network that has had 2 decades to develop every conceivable component alternative. RepairPal estimates average annual repair costs for this generation Tacoma at roughly $400 to $500 per year for an owner doing their own maintenance. That number reflects what this truck was designed to do: be maintained by the person who owns it. Truck number 2. The Ford F-150 from 1997 to 2003 with the 4.6-liter or 5.4-liter modular V8. The DAX Street. April 2025 analysis identified the F-150 from the 1980s through the early 2000s as a do-it-yourself repair champion based on 3 documented structural advantages: traditional body-on-frame construction with a spacious engine bay, substantial undercarriage accessibility without requiring a lift, an electrical system from an era before over-computerization that home mechanics can troubleshoot using basic multimeters. The F-150 from 1997 to 2003 occupies the optimal window. It is old enough to predate the complex electronic architecture of 2004 and later trucks, and new enough to run OBD2 diagnostics on a standard scanner. The 4.6-liter 2-valve modular V8 in this generation is a long-stroke, pushrod replacement engine with individual coil-on plug ignition, a returnless fuel injection system, and a conventional 5-speed automatic or 4-speed automatic transmission that has no adaptive shift logic, requiring recalibration after a battery change. The 5.4-liter 2-valve in the same generation shares those characteristics with increased displacement. Spark plugs thread into aluminum heads at standard intervals, and they come out with a standard spark plug socket. This is the critical distinction from the 5.4 3-valve engine that followed in 2004, which became notorious for spark plug blowout and broken plug extractions. The 2-valve avoids that failure mode entirely. You change spark plugs with a ratchet and a socket. You do not extract a broken plug body from a stripped aluminum head. The 1997 through 2003 F-150 raised its stance, and it gives a home mechanic working headroom underneath with basic jack stands. Exhaust system access, drive shaft service, and differential fluid changes are all accessible with tools that fit in a standard toolbox. The engine bay on this generation F-150 has working room around every service point. The oil filter is accessible from above or below. The alternator, serpentine belt, and water pump can all be reached without removing anything else first. The starter can be accessed without pulling the exhaust manifold. These are engineering decisions that prioritize the person doing the repair. They reflect what engineering documentation and 20 years of forum records confirm: this truck was built to be fixed. The Specialty Equipment Market Association consistently identifies this generation F-150 as one of the top 5 most aftermarket-supported light-duty trucks in American history. The number of suppliers producing every conceivable replacement component for this platform ensures that parts availability does not become the constraint for an owner who intends to keep this truck running for another 2 decades. Truck number 3. From 2000 to 2006, the Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra with the 5.3-liter Vortec LM7 or LC9. This is the last generation of full-size General Motors truck that was built and calibrated before the digital walls went up. The LM7 and LC9 are the engine designations to know. They are the naturally aspirated iron block 5.3-liter V8 built before General Motors introduced active fuel management cylinder deactivation in the 2007 model year. The LMG and LY5 designations came after, and they carry AFM. The LM7 and LC9 do not. Every diagnostic trouble code this engine generates reads on any OBD2 scanner manufactured after 1996. You do not need a Tech 2 scanner. You do not need a subscription to AC Delco TDS or General Motors SPS to read a fault code for a cold start rough idle. You plug in a standard scanner, you read the code, you identify the component, you fix it. The body control module on a 2000 to 2006 Silverado does not have cellular connectivity. There is no always-on modem reporting your location or your driving behavior to a General Motors server. There is no over-the-air update mechanism that can change your truck's behavior without your knowledge. When you turn the key off, the truck stops communicating with everything, including General Motors. This generation also predates the component serialization architecture that makes modern truck repairs so expensive. When you replace the throttle position sensor on a 2003 Silverado with an OEM specification part from any supplier, the truck recognizes it and runs. No VIN registration. No dealer authorization. No 30-minute drive to the dealership to pay someone to click a button. You install the part, the truck runs. That is ownership. The practical repair documentation for this platform is among the most comprehensive in the aftermarket. The factory service manuals are publicly available. The ALLDATA and Mitchell 1 databases have complete coverage. GM Techline documents and technical service bulletins for this generation are available through standard aftermarket channels. When something goes wrong on a 2003 Silverado, the diagnosis path and the repair procedure are documented in multiple independent sources. You are not dependent on a manufacturer server staying online and accessible to retrieve the information you need to fix your truck. Now here is the context that makes this list necessary in 2026. The Auto Care Association survey from April 2024 concluded with a specific legislative recommendation. The 2014 Memorandum of Understanding and the 2023 Automotive Repair Data Sharing Commitment between automakers should be codified through federal law. The Repair Act, which would codify that access requirement into enforceable federal statute, had not passed Congress as of early 2026. The automotive lobby spent $25 million in 2023 alone fighting right-to-repair legislation across state and federal venues. The voluntary commitments that independent shops cannot enforce remain the operative framework for access. Every year that passes without federal codification is another model year where the access question is answered by manufacturer preference rather than legal requirement. The 3 trucks on this list exist outside that question. They were built before the question existed. Their diagnostics do not depend on manufacturer goodwill. Their parts do not require manufacturer authorization. Their software cannot be updated from a server in Detroit. The prices on clean examples of all 3 platforms have been moving steadily upward in 2025 and 2026. According to Pontos Auto's analysis of budget-friendly pickup trucks in 2024, the Nissan Frontier with the VQ40DE engine is documented as the most economical pickup to maintain that year. That same analysis noted that simple, reliable engineering across all 3 of the platforms discussed here consistently delivers lower total maintenance costs than modern equivalent trucks. The tariff-driven price increase on new trucks, projected to add between $8,000 and $25,000 to new diesel pickup costs under the 2027 EPA standard, is already redirecting buyer attention to pre-2015 platforms. Auction data from early 2026 confirms that clean pre-2015 trucks in the configurations described on this list are appreciating rather than depreciating. The market is pricing in what informed buyers already know. These are not old trucks. They are the last trucks where the owner is actually the owner. Smart buyers are moving on these platforms now for 3 specific reasons. The inventory of clean, rust-free examples at reasonable prices is finite and shrinking each year. The 2027 EPA cost increases on new trucks will divert buyer attention to the used market in a volume that will push prices higher. And the legislative situation on data access has not resolved in the independent repair community's favor in over a decade of advocacy. There is no law coming that will force a 2026 F-150 to behave like a 2001 F-150 diagnostically. What you can do is buy the truck that was built before the walls went up. Before you buy any of the 3 trucks on this list, spend the money on a pre-purchase inspection. For the Tacoma, that means a comprehensive frame inspection from a mechanic with specific experience on this platform. For the 1997 to 2003 F-150, it means checking for head gasket history on the 5.4-liter 2-valve and inspecting the cam phaser area on the 4.6. For the Silverado LM7, it means a compression test on all 8 cylinders and a valve train inspection to confirm the cam lobes are intact. These are not deal-breaker issues if found early. They are negotiating points on the price. A $200 inspection on a $12,000 truck is the most efficient money a buyer can spend. 84% of independent repair shops say data access is their #1 problem. 63% experience it daily. Half are sending vehicles to dealers for repairs that any competent mechanic could handle if the manufacturer had not put a software wall in the way. That survey describes every truck sold after 2018. It does not describe the 3 trucks on this list, and the window to buy one at a price that reflects the market's incomplete understanding of what it is. Repairs are measured in months, not years. Have you already bought one of the 3 trucks on this list because you refuse to deal with a software wall between you and your repair? What platform are you running, and what have you been able to fix yourself? Sound off in the comments below, because every repair you describe is documentation of what is still possible before the walls went up permanently. If you refuse to hand your truck repair to a dealer's laptop when you could own a truck that needs only your hands, hit the subscribe button and join the resistance. Keep the old iron running. Keep turning your own wrenches. We will see you in the next one.